Welcome to another episode of Figure It Out. Today I have someone who's continued doing what she loves and actually upskilled herself to, match with the times that we're living in. So welcome on show, Nishtha.
Thanks for having me, Sajan.
Yeah. How much time has this been? Like 14 years?
14 years. I can't believe it. Feels like yesterday that we were chilling together.
Right? When I saw you entering the door, I was like, oh fuck, it's been like so long since I saw you.
Dude, I felt the same way, and then it felt like you've not changed at all. So
yeah,
it was great.
we like those visions times, like the college times that we had, like it was amazing. So what have you been doing right now? Like, I know you were studying something in college and then you like continued, doing that later on also, and just run us through what you've been doing.
So, after I left college, I was doing arts.
Right.
And then I did my mass comm. I did my postgrad in journalism. Mm-hmm. And I did a little bit of postgrad in history also because just मजे.
अच्छा लग रहा
था, मजा आ रहा था. And after that, I did work as a journalist for very long. And then I kind of pivoted now. And now I work for a startup. I handle all things content for a startup. So yeah,
how different is it? Like, you were a journalist, you were in my position before, and now you're on the other side. First of all, how does that feel?
It feels great, but it also feels like not a lot has changed since then, because handling content is just like, it feels like a pivot, but not completely. I'm still doing the same things. I'm doing some podcasts. I'm doing interviews for my startup as well.
Right.
The thing is, when you say content and you talk about upskilling and changing with times, a lot of it is this.
Right, exactly.
It's people want to consume stuff and people want to, learn.
I think what is lacking in the content in today's times is authenticity.
Yeah.
A lot of it is scripted. A lot of it is just people reading out of, teleprompter or something in the ears that, you need to talk about this. You can't talk about this. There's a lot of do's and don'ts.
Yes.
Right. Which is what we're trying to, not do over here.
Yeah.
Just for people listening, this is unscripted.
Completely
unscripted. Right? So I think, that's what the thing is, bringing unfiltered content to the world is something that I want to do, and, which is what we'll try to do. But how different has it been curating content rather than creating content? When you were a journalist, you were creating content.
Yeah.
Right? Technically, you were creating content. You were making people sit in an uncomfortable chair.
You make me sound like an interrogator or an interviewer.
Isn't that what journalists are?
Yeah, but thankfully I didn't do a lot of hard journalism. Okay. I would do things like human interest stories and speaking to interesting people and covering events that were happening in the city. Apart from that, I was doing sports.
Right.
So, that's as chill as it can get, right?
Yeah, we don't need to get into a sports rivalry on
Not yet.
We can do another podcast on this. Just for people listening, she's a Manchester United supporter and I'm an Arsenal supporter. So, yeah, the banter will go on.
Always.
But also that people can coexist.
Yeah, look at it.
We can coexist, right? I don't see... sometimes I get irritated with people. They just literally as if the clubs are paying them to argue on their behalf. I find it so ridiculous.
It's only one aspect of your life, right?
Exactly.
If you turn it into your entire personality, then it's a problem. And their life outside of football.
It's not just football. It's like you can transfer it into your daily life also, like a regular life. You cannot make just one thing a part of your whole personality.
Absolutely not.
You cannot stick onto one thing.
Yeah.
Or stick onto one person for that matter. Yeah. You have to have a lot to your personality.
Yep, absolutely.
I think a lot of people that I've brought on this podcast, I think one of the common things that everyone says is you are made of the people you've surrounded yourself. Right? So how has the people impact been in your life?
It's been great. As you know, I think it was around the time when you and I were in college together. Right. That's when I started really socializing with people and surrounding myself with people that I enjoyed being with, and things that I liked doing. I picked up the guitar, I started learning music. I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, of course I do.
And that has changed the course of my life completely. Some people from college I still hang out with. I'm still friends with. And I think if those parts and those people were not in my life would have been very different, very boring.
Probably you wouldn't even have learned as much as you could. I'm sure there would have been negatives also. I'm sure there have been positives. but I hope more positives.
That's the thing with human beings, right? When
Right.
you surround yourself with human beings, they come as a whole package.
You can't expect everything to be positive in life.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You got
life.
you got to take negatives, you got to take the positives, maybe take the learnings out of the negatives and put it into a positive and amplify. I think that's nature, right? Yin and yang, plus minus. It goes in balance.
It goes, yeah. I mean, the only thing is you need to learn how to take the positives and keep the negatives at bay, which is something that a lot of us struggled with initially. But I think
Has there been ever any time where you let the negativity take over?
I did actually lots. In my early 20s, I was very impressionable, very easy to react and very quick to react.
We've all been
Yes.
there. Like, you see someone very nice, fancy, and you get influenced by them.
Yeah, you get influenced, but you mostly get influenced by the negative aspect, and you just like let it take over your life, and it runs through your head even when the person is not there.
Yeah.
And after a point of time, you just sit back, relax, reassess your priorities, and you think, is this really necessary in my headspace? There are 1,500 things more that I need to think about. Is it really worth it? Is it worth it? And I think only after a certain age and maturity, you realize, no, it's not. When older people would tell you, dude, you're just like obsessing over certain things and certain people, just let it go, right?
Right.
And it doesn't strike you then, but only when you go through certain motions of what life throws at you, that's when you realize
it's not worth it. I think that's important, right? You need to form your own opinions also. You can't just be like, okay, usne bola to kar lo.
Yeah.
You got to form your own opinions.
Yeah. I think that was something that was on my mind ever since I was like very young.
Mm-hmm.
My mom would always say like, people smarter than you, people more experienced than you are telling you something.
Right.
And maybe you're making a mistake. And then I would always tell her, it's very weird that I remember this, I would always tell her, if I make a mistake and it's gone wrong, it's mine to make. It's my mistake, it's my cross to bear.
Yeah.
And it's totally okay with me.
You can live with the consequences because it's me.
It's me, yeah. Right. I took a gamble. If it pays off, it pays off. If it doesn't, then it's my consequence.
The rewards are mine, the losses are also mine.
The losses are also mine. Yeah. So yeah, you brought out like a really weird memory. And yeah, it's a lot of people called me very headstrong since I was very young.
You need to be headstrong.
But you do, right? That's how you go through life.
I think if you are not headstrong, you cannot progress in life.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
It's not just about career. I'm not talking about just career, but in as your personality growth, you need to have a strong opinion. You need to have your own thoughts. Otherwise, you are impressionable, as you rightly said.
Yeah.
And you will never progress.
Yeah.
You will never grow as a person. You will never. And one thing that I really liked, I kind of believe in that. That there are 1,500 things that you need to store in your mind.
Yeah.
Do you really need to bother about this?
Yeah.
And that's how I am. Sometimes people are like, "Arey, मैंने 2 दिन पहले तेरे को बोला था याद नहीं याद भाई." मतलब I don't remember trivial things because
if it's not coming to you, probably not important.
Exactly.
To your brain
I don't feel that it's important because there are 10 different things that I need to think of, and there are 10 different things that I need to focus on.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just too trivial. And thankfully for technology, I just simply put in my calendar or in a note like, okay, iska ye tha, ye iska is din birthday hai. There are probably 100 birthday reminders in my calendar right now. The other day something rang like iska birthday. I'm like, ye kaun hai?
Kaun hai? Hi, oh man. I think Orkut days say like it's been in Google calendars forever, and I'm like, who are these people?
Who are these people?
It's so weird that like life progresses and stuff like that, and then
I was just gonna say that you move on from people, you have new
graveyards of friendship.
I know, right?
When you look back and stuff like that, but everything's taught you something or the other, right? Like
you take what you get and you move on. Chin up, move on.
Yeah, it sticks and becomes a part of your personality, and then you shed off the rest of it. That's the unimportant bits,
right?
And you hope that the samne wala has taken the same thing from you, and then you move on. It's a healthy.
I mean, even if they haven't, you did your best.
You did your best.
No regrets.
No regrets. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. So you had taken a sabbatical in between as well, right? Like, how was it? Like, because not a lot of people in India take a sabbatical for health reasons.
Yeah.
And how was it like? And how was it coming back from that break?
Yeah.
Into a work life again, and did you feel that there's a difference, or did you even think that people treat you differently at work? Like, did they have that sympathy or that empathy towards you, and how did that affect you?
It's very weird. So I was diagnosed with diabetes in my early 20s, like 23, 24. I was misdiagnosed first. where I was told I was type 2 diabetic, and all I had to do was take oral medication for the rest of my life.
Right.
Only after 7 years did I get my correct diagnosis and stuff like that.
7 years.
But in the beginning, I was so shook, and I was like, I need to do something, because I'm still in my early 20s. I'm still in my first job. And if I don't do anything right now, the rest of my life is gone. I don't know if I'll live beyond 50 after a point of time. So I was very lucky that my parents were okay with me taking a sabbatical. They said, forget about earning right now. Concentrate on your health. You can earn later.
Yeah.
And I took a sabbatical. And initially, it was fine. I was concentrating on my health. I got bored. So I started teaching. I was teaching mass communication to college kids as a visiting professor.
Didn't they be like, ye student kahan se kari humko?
They didn't take me seriously.
Exactly, right?
But I can be a hard ass, so that went well. 20s are not a time when you can sit very idle, right? After which I was like, okay, cool. I think it's time to start making money properly. And people would not call me back.
Really?
People would not call me back. I would apply to a lot of places, and people would not call me back because they thought I was not being frank about why I took a sabbatical. They thought there was something ulterior going on. Till I got to a stage where I could get a face-to-face interview with them and explain to them why I took a sabbatical.
But वो point तक पहुंचना ही difficult हो रहा था ना?
Oh, exactly. वहाँ तक कोई पहुंच ही नहीं रहा था, because they would see a gap in your CV, and then all sorts of ideas keep forming in your brain, especially if you're a woman. They'll be like, तो शादी करके जा रही है कहीं.
None of them take it seriously that there could be actually a health issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And nobody was willing to listen to me till it got to a point where somebody did. And once I did start working over there, initially I think people did think differently of me. And I was working in a high-paced environment of a newsroom. I was.
आराम से थोड़ा बैठ जा, थोड़ा पानी ले.
Not at all. They would just be like, oh, you must not know कि last 2 साल में क्या हुआ. I was not dead, bro. I was like,
just because I was not working.
Just because I was not working.
It doesn't mean I'm out of touch.
Yeah, I don't even think people would realize it.
I mean, in your field, in journalism, you need to know exactly what's happening. You need to stay updated.
Yeah, it was subconscious on their part. I don't even think they realized that they were doing this. Maybe if they see this, they'll probably know. But but yeah, I did feel a little out of place initially till I let the speed of the entire work life thing get, because I went from like the shallow end straight into the deep end. I was working a 6-day-a-week job where, every day.
13 hours a day.
Yeah, every day. At the end of the day, it's not like ये कल कर लूँगा. आज का आज newspaper print होना है.
वो रात को 2 बजे का deadline रहेगा.
We had a 7 p.m. deadline.
God.
And we had to coordinate with 4 other centers in India.
Amazing.
And there is no tomorrow when you work in a newsroom.
Yeah.
It has to go right now. It has to go today. It has to be perfect.
I think from there now people are like, ये tweet कर दे. That time it was more print. Now it's more like tweet.
Absolutely. Yeah, we make it sound old. It was really like 5 years ago.
I think that's how much social media and technology has advanced.
Has changed. Yep.
Also the people consuming the internet has risen so much.
Yes, thanks to like cheap internet in India, I think it's become easier for people to.
I won't take the brand name because it'll just be like unnecessary promoting them, but we all know who did that.
We know who we are talking about. So it's become, I mean, it's great for progress of this country.
Absolutely.
But what has happened, it's very philosophical, but like people have so much internet, they don't know what to do with it. So they don't see the downsides of like quick information.
Also, one other thing is that it's actually isolating a lot of people, I feel. Like I see these 19, 20-year-olds. I may be sounding like a boomer right now.
Aren't we boomers?
We are probably. Like the Gen Z probably, what I'm referring to is they are only on the internet.
Yeah.
They don't like going down, playing with their friends, family. Even if they're downstairs, they'll be probably on their phone.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel happy that, people are playing football or something. ठीक है, कांच तोड़ दिया, फर्क नहीं पड़ता. At least कुछ तो कर रहे हैं. Like वो अच्छा लगता है.
It's very weird because I think just before we started rolling also we were talking about the fact that we are a truly first internet generation. But we knew what life was without mobile
rolling
phones.
She meant the camera is not rolling anything.
Sorry for journalist speak. But yeah. Camera rolling.
The camera rolling.
We were talking about how we are an internet generation, but we knew of life before smartphones and before when landlines were prevalent and outdoor game time was a thing. Today's Gen Z is basically, they were born with a smartphone in their hand. Parents would just, खाना नहीं खा रहा है, सामने iPad रख दिया, games चल रहे हैं,
Baby Shark लगा दिया
and all of that stuff. And I feel sad for them because they don't really know, and they live in a bubble.
Yeah, they live in a bubble.
They live in
a burst someday, I think.
You know what the worst part about the bubble is? It's not just what you're saying. It's isolating, and it's leading people to not be very outdoorsy and meet people in person. But they're living in a bubble where everyone wants to be an influencer of some sort.
Yeah,
it's awful. It's awful. Like social currency is what they live for, and it's not
likes,
nice.
Followers.
It's not. It's not nice. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Your life can't be Instagram perfect. What you see on Instagram is not real. It's not real.
Perfect. It's not.
It's filtered. It's edited. It's cut for 15 hours and then posted. And
now that you mention it, it's just an FYI. None of the podcasts in Figure It Out are edited or cut. This is all in one take. So trying to bring you as natural conversations as possible. So I think we've spoken about technology of the yesteryears, technology of the now. You were in the yesteryears when you were printing newspapers, and now you are leading content in UI. How difficult was it, and how did you upskill yourself to actually cope up with that pace? And how did that opportunity even come to you?
Oh my God, that opportunity is a great story. I love telling people, and so does my boss. We used to be acquaintances and friends because he had a diabetes-related startup.
Don't tell me.
He did. And somebody told me to try out his products to make sure that I was living a more healthy life and a disciplined life and stuff like that. So I was a customer first of his product.
You gave a testimonial and he picked you up from there.
I actually gave him a testimonial, and we spoke because he's a big proponent on being in touch with every single customer of yours as much as possible.
That's how all the startup founders should be.
Should be, exactly. And he would speak with me and figure out what is lacking, what do I like. And then one day he tells me, he sends a mass email saying that I'm shutting the company down because it's been acquired. Okay. And that part is not going to go on anymore. I wrote him a long, angry email saying, "What are you doing? What am I supposed to do after your product is shut?" I think I made an impression because he realized,
that he was creating an impact.
Yeah, and he was creating an impact.
Yeah.
And I think I got stuck in his head. So when he started this startup, which is basically a productivity SaaS tool,
okay,
he immediately thought of me, and I said, okay, cool, let's do this, because I was in a place where I didn't want to do a corporate job forever. I wanted to do something interesting.
That's all of a dream thing.
Yes, right. I think I just ended up with the right opportunity at the right time. Yeah. Of course, I had questions in my mind like, it's a startup, right? What if something goes wrong and everything goes south? I said, okay, cool, we'll figure it out.
Pehla question, 2 saal tak ka salary hai ki nahi?
2 saal tak ka salary hai ki nahi? Because exactly, you need to be paid. Yeah. I don't think I even asked him that much because I knew him, right?
Right.
So I was like, if it's a friend, he's not going to put me in a situation.
Absolutely.
In hindsight, I should have asked questions. But अच्छा ही हुआ मैंने जो किया.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you got to rely on faith, you have to take the jump.
Absolutely.
You got to trust your guts.
You have to trust your guts. And my gut said, let's go. Let's do this.
Kiya jaye.
So kiya jaye. And once I took the plunge, and I didn't realize what I was getting myself into, honestly. Because मुझे बोला गया था content, there'll be a bit of blogs and there'll be this and that. I said, okay, cool. It's content. You're writing for a newspaper, you're writing for something else. At the end of the day, you are using your brains and making, molding a story into something readable, something people will want to read. And, like reading.
Yeah.
And then when I started writing, I realized there are 15 different types of content that I was going to have to do. And then it came to a point where we needed somebody to write for the website. Okay. And write for the website doesn't mean writing big blogs, but writing the smaller copies, click here.
Correct. Exactly.
Scroll here, go here.
Yeah.
And I told myself maybe it's time to learn a new skill.
Yeah.
Where you are writing copy ki kisi ko yaad nahi rahega, but they know exactly what to do once they see.
It's a involuntary movements.
Exactly. The more it's in the background, the more people actually think about the product they're using and not about what they're reading.
I think if I can put it in a way, you direct them without them realizing you're directing them.
Exactly. Absolutely bang on. It's a tool to just move you along the way. But if you're going the right way, know everyone knows how to use a website.
Absolutely.
Kids to adults, to older people know how to use a website. So how do you write for that anymore, right? From scratch. You just have to learn. That's all. So that sort of upskilling was amazing. It was like learning to write ABC from scratch.
It's good that you enjoyed it. Not a lot of people enjoy it, but I think they should. They should always try and upskill themselves, because otherwise a lot of people are crying behind ChatGPT of late. ChatGPT mera job lega. I think it's not ChatGPT taking their jobs. It's them unwilling to go beyond what they do.
ChatGPT won't take your job. People who know how to use ChatGPT correctly will take your job.
Correct. I think I read this all somewhere, and that's so true.
It's very true.
It's very true. You need to upskill yourself to be able to use those machines to help better.
Time and technology is not going to stop for you. It's not. You will have to keep up with the times or just perish. That's the only
थोड़े time पहले तक coding के लिए इतना होता था. अभी AI पे आ गया public. Abhi now it's going to be something else. You got to constantly keep moving and upskilling yourself.
Yeah, make yourself so invaluable. And the only way actually you can do that now is have your fingers in all sorts of pies. Know a little bit about writing, know a little bit about coding, know a little bit about product management.
Know a little about sales,
marketing.
Business revenue, profit and loss, everything. Like every little aspect of the company.
Yeah.
I understand finance could be one thing where
you can't. Finance and legal are two things that you probably
they are too highly specific. But I think every little aspect otherwise, which is, requires a little bit of a productivity, creative brain, you need to put your hands into it.
Yeah. You need to be like a Swiss Army knife now that ये भी है मेरे पास, ये भी है मेरे पास, ये भी है मेरे पास. And the thing is, you need to, people talk about companies pivoting and stuff like that. You need to be a human pivot.
Correct.
After some point, where you are in a place where you say that, okay, cool, I can't, maybe this role is becoming redundant all over the world, जो मैं अभी काम कर रहा हूँ. मैं इसके अलावा क्या कर सकता हूँ? इसके अलावा यहाँ से कहाँ से जा सकता हूँ? What else can I bring to the table?
You can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Absolutely not. Not anymore.
You need to keep moving.
Keep up with the times, man. It's the 21st century.
That's actually so true. Cool. Any parting thoughts you would like to give to the people listening or watching?
So, I think just what I just said about
apart from that, I'm pretty sure you have much more to talk.
Look, it's something that not a lot of people talk about in the age of hustle culture. Is work-life balance. Have it, because I have unfortunately been through a time where I had to prioritize my health, or I wouldn't be able to sustain myself through a hustle.
Right.
If you rest before you hustle, you can hustle harder, faster, better,
efficient,
more efficient hustle.
Yeah.
Where you're hustling, where you don't have to hustle like 14 hours a day.
I think this guy Junjunwala, he said that I think he said that I wish I had invested in my health more.
Yeah. And then you can hustle for longer and faster and better. Like,
and I thought, and we even discussed this, like, how much is enough?
Yeah, how much is enough, right? It's not like I told you, it's not, you can't put a price tag to it's enough. Correct. Your money worth and how salary.
Money is not currency. Money is also your health. Money is also your relationship with your family, your friends.
Yeah.
Everything.
Your social.
Your smile, your happiness, everything. That is
your
the
hobbies.
Money.
All
Absolutely.
of it. You have to be a well-rounded human to be able to even succeed in any one aspect of your life.
Correct.
Be it your work or your relationships and stuff like that. If you're not a well-rounded human being and you don't have like different aspects to yourself that you want to sustainably grow over a period of time, it's not going to work. At some place there's going to be a breakdown and you won't know where to repair first.
Correct.
It's like you're driving a car and it's falling apart, but you're using only like sellotape to put it together instead of repairing it first before moving ahead.
In our corporate work, तुमको root cause ही नहीं पता.
Root cause ही नहीं पता, exactly.
RCA तुमने किया ही नहीं है. RCA तो करो पहले, problem है किधर?
वो problem figure out करो और उसको fix करो rather than sellotape it.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that's so bang on. Work-life balance and understand where the root cause is and try and solve that rather than just like temporarily repairing it.
Absolutely. Nurture your relationships, nurture your friendships. Your work's not going to go on forever. And your company can replace you in a second. So
I think I have this thing. I just hope my company people don't hear this. I always say this, like, if it's not a matter of life and death, do not call me after work hours.
Yeah.
Do not call me on my days off. Unless and until someone is dying or the company is going bankrupt, I am not going to work. It's my off day, it's my off time, it's my me time. I need that. Even if I'm not doing anything, I need to rest. Because I can't work those 5 days efficiently otherwise.
Yeah, you're a machine. You're a machine.
I'm not a machine, exactly. Right? And I think it's important to treat ourselves that way.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Respect the life and the body that you've been given.
Respect the energy that you have. You can't burn it out all
Yep.
in your work.
Yeah, absolutely. Conserve and then spend.
हर जगह पे थोड़ा इधर, थोड़ा. P1, P2, P3.
Yep, absolutely. It's so much corporate speak. Oh my god. Yeah.
But you can transfer it in your life. People just use it in their work life. You can transfer it in your
Absolutely
all
agree.
your life.
Absolutely agree. I mean, it's like you can learn from one place and apply it to the other.
You can mix and match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You just don't leave things over there. You learn from it and you can adapt it somewhere else.
Yeah, life does not happen in like this slot,
Correct.
this slot, and this slot. Like
Correct.
it's an amalgamation of a lot of things.
Correct. Absolutely.
Put together.
Absolutely. So yeah, lovely chatting with you after a long time. I don't believe you've ever spoken besides Arsenal Man U banter. Well,
Absolutely.
no, this was amazing. Thank you for taking out the time.
Thanks for
I know
having
it's a
me.
weekend. I hope I didn't take much of your time.
Not at all.
Cool. So thank you for tuning in, guys. And for people listening, watching, I keep saying it again and again. Please do subscribe. अच्छा लगता है यार, वो number थोड़ा बढ़ेगा, अच्छा लगेगा मेरे को. And yeah, stay tuned for more amazing podcasts and amazing stories. Till then, take care. Cheers.